Woman of the Hour on Netflix.
I also watched it.
So it is a crime thriller directed by Anna Kendrick. It's her directorial debut.
Yes.
It's written by Ian McDonald, and it's based on the true life story of a serial killer in 1978 in California, generally. The serial killer was Rodney Alcala. And he, in the midst of his murder spree of women, he went on the dating game. And the actual episode still exists. And Andrew Kendrick plays the contestant, Cheryl Bradshaw, who's sort of a struggling actress. And this happens even today with some, game shows. You'll watch them and people are like, you're almost like, oh, these actors
They're
are
trying
out of
to
work.
get their break. They
Like,
can't get
gosh, I really hope I roll a 4. Like, there's just so, like, I don't believe this is some housewife from Wisconsin. Like,
this isn't the current era of Bachelor or living in a house and seeing if it all works out. This is like, no, we just filmed this on a Saturday. We don't know if they win on the date. It doesn't matter to us.
Well, it's weird because, the dating game, I do remember watching it as a kid. And it had very much an innocent quality about it. And they did win a trip to like Acapulco for the weekend or Santa Barbara or Palm Desert. It wasn't any place far. It wasn't like you were going on a cruise.
To an El Torito in your neighborhood.
Santa Monica.
But as a kid, I did kind of believe that they were like leaving the studio and like heading out on
Straight
this
into
amazing,
a limo.
Yeah.
Which, how awkward, because for those of you who have never seen the dating game, it was 3 bachelorettes basically partitioned off. So the contestant, the one basically who could win, male or female, could not see them. So you'd ask a series of questions like bachelorette number 1, bachelorette number 2, bachelorette number 3, bachelor so-and-so and so-and-so. So it wasn't to like, all right, who'd you pick? And I'm going to pick Bachelor 3, and then Bachelor 1 would come out. And like sometimes they'd be like studs or beautiful, and be like, oh,
You blew it.
Call me later. And then you'd have your one come out, and sometimes it was like, wah, wah, and other times, they'd have chemistry right away. So, that was always interesting to see the reveal of how they would react.
Wait a minute. Is this the precursor to Love is Blind, that show that's on right now where they're all in pods and they're talking to each other without
everything.
seeing? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't you think, John?
I think there have been a couple dating shows.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the one that's
Actually,
happening now.
I talked about this movie at a dinner with some of my girlfriends, and my girlfriend Heather talked about how she was on a similar, of our more era, Studs.
Oh, yeah, Studs. Sure.
Yeah. I think it was a guy picking a girl and she got picked. I don't think it was Heather picking a guy. Regardless, it was her and the guy at the end, and they were supposed to go on a trip, and like that, of course, never happened. So, I mean, it's like, so I do think it's pretty much the precursor to everything. It takes place in 1978. Cheryl Bradshaw, who's played by Anna Kendrick, plays the bachelorette who's going to pick between these 3 bachelors. Now, why? I mean, it's based on a real life story, so it's just so odd that right in the middle of a serial killing spree, he decides, I'm going to go on national television.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting that he must have been such a crazy narcissist that he was just like, oh, no, I can just go on the show because whatever. No one knows what I've been up to, and I'm super charming. So
he really did consider himself a charmer. And now he would use the guise of finding his victim and saying he wants to photograph them and then taking them out to a very far location, like,
something
out in the
remote.
desert,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then end up killing these women. And
did you get the sense that he also killed men? Because there was one.
There seems to be.
Seems to be.
They do not know how many people he actually killed in the end.
Because I think in the end it says he was found guilty of 7 or 8 murders, although they think the total could have been like 130. Like, it was crazy.
And basically, Anna Kendrick's character didn't realize that she should just ask, how many people have you killed? All right, contestant number 3.
That was not one of her questions.
That could have been a perfect question, Ed.
He's like,
my
I'm just waiting for the right question.
Why didn't she think of that?
Now, Anna Kendrick put in unique, and so did the writer, spin on it, where it was really talking about the burgeoning years of what would have been feminism. So even back to what we were just talking about, like a woman having her own voice, her own empowerment, her own desires, and almost feeling like she's belittling herself going on this very, what she considers dumbed down version of a dating show. So at first she's asking very boring, bland questions.
Which have obviously been provided for her. They have a plan, so nothing is like real and authentic. And I don't know, I'm assuming that this is how the dating game pretty much worked, that they controlled all of it and they provided you with questions and, because they think this is going to be fun TV. So they're going to, give you the questions that they think are going to work. And then she kind of goes off script.
Yeah, because Anna Kendrick usually plays what I would consider a layer or complicated character. This has nuances to them. What you're seeing, there's usually some underbelly of interest. So halfway through, she decides to kind of go off script, like Kathryn just said, and ask more challenging questions. And of course, the only one that can rise to the occasion is the serial killer. Now, that is played by Daniel Zovatto. He's a Costa Rican actor who I've never seen before because I guess his genre is more in the horror genre. So not my jam.
Okay.
But he does a good job being creepy as hell. Now, the storytelling is done in a way that it will cut between the modern day game show that's going on and things that he's done in the past so that you get more and more creeped out as the game show goes. And one of the elements that she did was she had someone in the audience that starts to get a very visceral reaction to him.
She recognizes
him and basically then tries to get a producer, a security guard, anybody, police, anybody to realize this guy on national television was a serial killer who killed her girlfriend. And that also goes to women not having their voices are respected or being heard.
Yeah.
So I thought that Anna Kendrick did a very good job of building up the tension and your fear for her that the girl, you're in danger. You are in danger.
Absolutely.
He is going to kill you if you go all the way on this weekend. For sure. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's based on the real life story. Her character does survive. But, what is that journey for her to finally listen to her own gut, her own instincts to be like, something's off with you. I need to get away from you.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's really the near miss of her character.
Oh.
Because it could have she could have been one of his victims.
Yes.
Because he wasn't caught until later, and we do get that part of the story. That's also interwoven. So structurally, very interesting. Things in the past and the thing in the future, which is what actually causes him to get caught.
So he won, and the prize was basically to go to Carmel, and they do not go, thank God. But, because that woman sitting in the audience was not able to get him arrested or questioned, even though he has been questioned before in connection with certain cases or possibly even murder. Mm-hmm. But, he is charming. He's able to kind of charm his way out of it. So it is very tense, some creepiness. The lead actor does a really good job with building that for us, the audience.
He's great. Oh, can I just say, anytime I can, bring up Station 11. I want to bring up Station 11. He was in Station 11, and he was great in that.
Okay. Let me call it one little additional character, because it's really primarily the two of them. There are other small parts and cameos.
Yeah, the runaway girl was really good.
It was fantastic. Oh, you're just like, oh, girl, don't get in the car. But Tony Hale plays the dating game host. And he just is such a man of the times, creepy and okay, sweetie, all right,
very
doll.
misogynistic.
Yeah,
and
but
the hair was hysterical too.
Yeah, Tony Hale's always great, so he was really
that
good.
Actually would be my only critique, that the hair was not 70s enough. Everything else really, really read pretty good 70s, and then the hair needed to be more lank and greasy, or at least flat, or the styling felt too clean and modern a little bit. I don't know.
Right.
Although some of the hair was ooh, that's some 70s weird little hairdos you got going there. Okay.
Yeah, so I recommend it. I thought it was very well done.
I thought she did a great job.
I definitely think, some people are like, dating game, what's that? But like I said, it's the origin for basically where everything we're watching today. So yeah, so Anna Kendrick, good job. Directorial debut on Netflix now. Woman of the Hour.